My name's Katie Beherns. I'm with
Katie.
Growth Energy and America's Renewable Future. While some candidates in the Republican field have been unsupportive of the Renewable Fuel Standard, you've stood with Iowans and the rest of rural America by supporting it. What can you say about your support, and why should other candidates see this as such a crucial policy?
Well, it was consistent with my policy, as I mentioned earlier. I've been against subsidies, and I don't see the RFS as a subsidy because, well, it isn't. I actually opposed subsidies on ethanol, I'll just be very honest about it. But I've always supported the RFS because I thought it was a market access provision. You have an industry that is vertically integrated from the wellhead to the pump, and you're now introducing a new fuel. Originally introduced, one of the reasons was because of the oxygenates that was needed in our fuel to replace MTBEs, and so I was supportive of it to make sure that that was in there. And then number two, this is a domestically produced fuel. This employs people in the heartland of America, and does so at a cost that's a lot cheaper than protecting foreign oil sources, as we have to do around the world. So you're creating jobs here. You have a secure domestic source. It's a source of oxygen and octane for our fuels. We needed to make sure that the oil companies would accept that into their feedstock, into their fuel, into their stream of for the marketplace. So it assured it's a market access provision. It's a job creator here in America. It's a national security issue to make sure that we have not overly dependent on foreign sources of oil. If you think about it now, with the explosion, thanks to the hydraulic fracturing that's going on, we now have a lot more sources of oil here in this country, and combined with the production of renewable fuels from ethanol, biofuels, that makes America potentially, in the very near future, energy independent. We're already, America today is the #1 producer of energy in the world. If I'd have said that to you 10 years ago, no one would have believed it, but we are. It's a combination of hydraulic fracturing, the technology advances there, and the technology advances on ethanol. I would say one thing, and I always say this to the ethanol folks: you need to do a better job educating the American public about the benefits of ethanol and the efficiency of ethanol. I was asked a question in South Carolina the other day, and it wasn't a friendly place to be asked by a conservative group. And they make the claim, well, it rises the prices of food, and it's more expensive to make than it is to, it uses more energy to make than it does to produce. All of those things have been debunked, but they're still out there. It's like these myths that continue to circulate around the issue of ethanol. And so one of the things that I'm very proud of is, I'm the only person in the Republican side that has been a strong supporter of the RFS, from day one, and really one of the few in the race that continues to support it. And I think it's important, if you're going to have a president that's going to go out there, as one of the things I mentioned earlier, I really feel it's part of the president's job not just to vote on, to decide things, but to use the bully pulpit to educate the American public as to how we have to go. And I don't think this president has done it, as much as he's for global warming, and as much as ethanol helps in that regard. You don't really see this president doing that. I would be a president that would make sure that America knows the truth about all of these fuels.
Thank you.